succeed in sending this film out, but I will try to make sure it's set free, so to speak.
In fact, for all of us watching it at the time, it seemed highly unlikely that he was going to get out of this.
By mid-morning, APCs were ringing the Defence Ministry and most government buildings. From many people on the streets, the reaction was one of sheer surprise and resignation.
The Emergency Committee banned all demonstrations, threatened a curfew if there are disturbances, and took control of the mass media.
The clocks were being turned back by the new masters of the Soviet Union. But many people were refusing the new rule. At this moment, people are standing in front of tanks and armored vehicles.
A few shouted insults at the soldiers. One man lay down in front of a tank to try to halt its progress, getting out of the way just in time. One woman shouted angrily, "You are fascists."
The tanks had come not to the Kremlin, but to the seat of the Russian parliament a mile away. There was a reason for this, for inside the building was the one man who has the popular appeal that might yet reverse this right-wing coup d'etat. Workers and shoppers quickly surrounded the security forces, pleading with them, appealing for the sake of the Russian motherland for them to go home. Some even tried grappling with the tank crews, but it was an act of futility. There are growing fears that a massive purge against the reformers may soon begin.
Now the Soviet people have been given a taste of freedom, they won't give it up easily.
The next thing you know, you're treated to a press conference of these guys who are the coup, ostensibly led by the Vice President, Gennady Yanayev.
The very first question, of course, was, where is Mikhail Gorbachev?
Well, let me say that Mikhail Gorbachev is now on vacation. He's undergoing treatment in the south of our country. He is very tired after these many years, and he will need some time to get better. And it is our hope.
Yanayev's answer drew derisive laughter from the press.
You knew this coup was not going to necessarily succeed when you saw Yanayev's hand shaking during the press conference.
It's apparent that several of them are drunk, they're incompetent, right? That this is not really going to work. And meanwhile, Yeltsin is going from strength to strength.
It was all too much for Boris Yeltsin. As president of the Russian Federation, he had already mounted a challenge to the coup leaders. He defied orders to evacuate his offices. He stood upon a tank surrounded by supporters.
They bring us back to the Cold War period and the isolation of the Soviet Union from the rest of the world. Thus, we declare that this committee and any representation which they present are totally illegitimate.
Yeltsin, to his credit, immediately took the position that the coup was illegal and that committee had to go.
Naturally, we declare that all decisions and decrees passed by that committee are not legitimate.
In Moscow, probably tens of thousands of people supported him.
It was the kind of moment that is indelible. You can say all kinds of things about Yeltsin in years to come, but when firmness and clarity was called for on the morning of August 19th in Moscow in 1990,